for SaaS offers, so we're going to switch gears here. So this is where you as a publisher have a solution that you can deploy as a SaaS offer. Okay. So as we said before, SaaS offers are deployed in your subscription as a publisher, right? Normally those SaaS offers will be shaped as a multi-tenant solution. There is tricks for you to do single tenancy after the interface and provisioning. So where you can have a multi-tenant front end where the customer will come in, all the customers will come in and provisioning the service, and you behind the scenes provide a single tenant experience by dividing the tiers, in or logically or physically from your site. So, but we don't as Microsoft, we don't prescribe any kind of architecture. It's up to you to decide what works best for you. But what we've seen here, the SaaS offer mostly used with multi-tenant solutions, in some cases single tenant solutions with the cabinets that I explained before. Now, from a listing perspective, you're gonna have basically 4 main options. You're gonna have the listing contact me. Think about this as a Yellow Pages ad, or a way for having to have presence in the marketplace, where a prospective customer will come and search for your service or find your service and being interested in service, and they click on it. When they click on it, basically you will get notified via your lead management system, and you will have to connect, and we'll go into details into that. And basically you can act upon that lead. Okay. Now the next two, the listing free and free trial, are very, very similar. And then I'll show you the main difference is the free trial will require to have Azure AD integration. So the form where you capture the customer information is is automatically preloaded based on the Azure AD information from that customer. Okay, so we'll go into more detail on that. It seems a little bit confusing, but it's actually pretty straightforward. And the last one is the sell through Microsoft. This is the transact, where basically you will integrate with the billing API. All right, so from a billing perspective, so we get a lot of questions on this area. You have multiple options. So the SaaS offer is the one that has got the most amount of flexibility regarding billing capabilities. It has the ability for you to do flat monthly rate, yearly monthly rates. You can do seat-based, so this is when you can say, per seat, so $6 per month per seat. And then you can have the ability of combining offers. So you can say, for example, I have a plan that is a basic plan that is going to be $6 a month or $50 a year, for example, or a plan number 2, for example, that has a premium plan, which is like $10 a month or $1,000 a year. So up to the customer to choose. So these are some of the examples. So don't think that this is all the combinations that you can do. This is some basic combinations that we've put here for as an example. Basically, you have the ability, as I said, to combine multiple terms. So this is another example where we're looking at seat-based pricing. As I said, multiple combinations. You can set it up without upper limit, meaning that plan basic 1 is going to be $6 per month per seat. Doesn't matter how many seats you use. So if they use, doesn't matter if it's going to be from 1 to 10 million. It's always going to be $6. You can also set it up so with a maximum upper limit. So let's say that what you want to have is up to 1,000 seats is going to be $6. And then you can have a plan 2 that is from 1,001 to 5,000. Then it's $5 per month. So cheaper if they have more people, if you have more seats being used by your end customer. And the last part is a discount based on seat volume. So very similar to what we're explaining, the 1 to 100, the 101 to 200, etc. Okay. The last billing option that we have is metered, and this has been super popular. We just came out of preview last month on this. We have multiple customers already successfully implementing this. So this is going to take a little bit. It's not as simple as it sounds, but if you think about meter approach is like how you can pay per transaction, right? So how you can have your customer pay per transaction. So start thinking that way. So the variable one on the top is a plan A, which basically you're paying for number of transactions. Every transaction is, 12 cents, right? You also have the ability of doing fixed plus variable. So you can say, let's say I have a basic plan where, includes 2,000 transactions. So that's going to be a flat fee of 25. And then for every extra transaction is going to be 10 cents. It's a very straightforward. So you're fixed plus variable. Now, multi-dimension, this is when it start getting like pretty interesting. So in this case, let's say that we have a service that basically allows you to enhance pictures, right? So as part of that, me as a publisher, I have multiple dimensions that I want to build by, okay? So the system currently allows you for 10 dimensions, and let me explain what dimensions are. So on this case example, we have a dimension 1 that is basically picture sent, dimension 2 that is pictures received, and also I'm going to charge it per megabit used. So, and each one of those dimensions will have a specific pricing unit, okay? So you guys, very granular. You can basically define up to 10 dimensions, and that composite will make that plan. So for plan C, in this case, which is basic for the service that beautifies pictures, I will do, as I said, for every picture that I receive, I'm going to charge them 12 cents per unit, per megabit of data, 25, and then picture sent. So I could have said, for example, dimension 4 here, and then for 20 CPU cycles, I'm going to charge them XYZ, or for memory, I'm going to charge them whatever. So as I said, you got 10 dimensions. Whatever your business is, you can be able to utilize. The next step is the same as the fixed variables. You have the same thing. You have a multi-dimension fix plus a variable. So in this case, the plan D, it's basically we're telling them is okay. So we got a basic plan for $10 a month that is going to include 1,000 pictures either sent or received and 100 megabits of bandwidth. After that, or every time you hit my service, right, for beautifying those images, we're going to charge you for 10 cents for picture, 10 cents for picture received, and 25 per megabit. Yeah, so very granular. As I said, 10 dimensions allows you to do a lot of combinations, and then we've seen this be really, really successful. From a creating the offer perspective, we also get a lot of questions about, okay, so sounds fantastic. Like, so how do I go about creating the offer? Yeah. So what you're going to see when you go to Partner Center, you're going to have multiple sections in there. You're going to have, these are the core sections that you're going to see. So the first one is going to be the offer settings, which you're going to create the identity for that offer. You're going to have the technical information. So if it's a transact, then this is what you see. You will see the plans, and then you will see all the technical requirements like the AD integration that you're gonna need, the webhook information and whatnot, and we'll go into details on that. Channel information, you will see that if you wanna have your solution be sold via CSP. Storefront details, this is basically the main the main display of your solution on the marketplace. So here you will have the marketing assets like the images, you will have the videos, documentation that you want to have associated with that. You will have also the legal assets and the lead management associated with it. Now, interesting point about lead management. I know I talk about this, I didn't go into detail. So lead management allows you to automatically configure your lead generation with your whatever lead management system that you have to manage those leads. So what this allows you to do is once you configure this, currently we have Salesforce, Marketo, Dynamics, Azure Tables, and an HTTPS endpoint supported and fully documented. So if you have any of those 5, you will be able to hook up your lead management. And what that allows you to do is like whenever there is a customer that clicks on your offer, you automatically will get a lead from that customer. And then the lead will consist normally on the Azure AD information. So name, last name, email address, and normally role. So when you will get that automatically, and then you as a publisher can act on it whatever way you want. Like we have very advanced implementation. Some of our publishers basically have their system fully automated for lead management, where as soon as they get the lead, their system will send an email to that email address and telling the prospective customer, thank you very much for your interest, and this is the basic information about our service, and then we'll get you a call in the next week if you're interested. So you can go as far as you want to take it. Normally, the more automated you have it, the more better off, and then the more actionable those leads are going to be. The next part is the contacts, and this is the contacts for support contacts for internally for you as a publisher on Microsoft, and also as who will be the support contact from your side. So when a customer calls Microsoft for support, who do we redirect that customer to in case that this is not a challenge with the platform, is more an issue related to the solution. The last part, test drive, only applies to Microsoft hosted Dynamics and Power BI, so we're not really going to go into that. We talked about this before. As I said, the core, the most important information here is for you to understand that the publishing SLA is 6.5 days after you click submit, and then what we've seen is an average between 2 or 3 weeks for our partners to implement the billing API. We have all that documented, and then we'll go into a little bit more detail in the next slides. All right, so let's talk about the technical requirements for the SaaS offer. So contact me, no technical requirements, free. It's going to be just a landing page where you want the customers to be redirected to. Listing trial, this is going to be 2 things. One, you're going to need the integrate the provisioning or your experience or where you're going to gather all the information from the user with Azure AD. And I say that because you don't necessarily have to integrate your entire solution with Azure AD. You just have to integrate the part that is going to be interfacing with a user experience, okay? With Azure AD, and then you're going to need a landing page, obviously, where the customer is going to be redirected from the marketplace into your solution to register for that free trial. The last part is the integrating with the billing API, and here we have a little bit more requirements. So landing page, integration with Azure AD. You're going to have to register your SaaS app with Azure AD. So this is basically the provisioning service that is going to be talking to the billing API. That's what needs to be registered. As I said, you don't have to register your entire solution. The only thing you have to register is that provisioning and service that is going to be talking to the billing API. And also you need to provide a webhook that would allow us for the billing API to notify you when actions are taken by the customer. So those are the technical requirements, and then we'll go onto all the experiences very quickly, so you guys can get a sense of what does the customer see when he has the different listing options. So this build up is the contact me, very straightforward. They go to the Azure Marketplace, they find your offer. They as soon as they get into the marketplace, they actually are authenticated via Azure Active Directory. And when they click on the offer, then you will get a lead on your lead management system. As simple as that. You as a publisher will have to action on that lead. The next one is a free experience, very similar. In this case, we have one more step. The step is the customer, instead of you getting a lead, you will get a lead no matter what, but the customer gets redirected to a URL that you have defined for that solution. So that could be your landing page for the customer to subscribe for a free experience, for example. The next one is the free trial experience, and this is what I was telling you about, that the solution needs to be registered with Azure AD. So the reason why we have this fourth one is because between having a customer going directly to a redirect and to an empty form where they will register the product, or redirect them to a form that is already populated, we've seen about a 50% drop. So we've seen a better results if you have that form pre-populated already with the customer information. And this is the reason why you need Azure AD, because the way that you will catch that customer information is when you do the redirect, you can then query Azure AD for that user. That Azure AD will provide you the basic partner or customer information that is allowed by their Azure tenant, which, as I said, normally is going to be, you're at least going to have your name, your last name, your email address, and then the role. That's basically that. And then you can use that information to pre-populate the form and then display that pre-populated form to the partner. Now, the experience is, it's a little bit more complex. Is obviously the purchase experience, and we're gonna go through all the different steps very quickly. So in order for us to know who the customer is and where to bill the service that you're providing to them, we need to redirect them to the Azure portal. So let's walk through this very quickly. The customer will purchase the offer. When they click on the offer, they will select the plan that they want. So let's say, $10 a month, for example. Then the customer will get redirected to the Azure portal. In the Azure portal, the customer will select which subscription they want to have billed for your service. Okay, so they will go in there, they will select the subscription. After the subscription, they will generate a resource group. And after they select all those things, they will basically be redirected to your landing page, to which you will basically, obviously, you will already have the Azure AD information because it's required. That landing page it's required for you to have Azure AD integration, and then so you will have all the information from that customer, the plan that they have selected. They will finish the provisioning process. So in this offer landing page, you have the ability to basically ask for more information on that customer. Let's say you need more steps to properly define what the service is going to be. We also have seen, interestingly enough, partners use that page to do an upsell. So for example, you can say, hey, customer, I saw that you selected service for $10 a month, but if you select the service for $12 a month, there is such and such benefits. So you have an opportunity there to do some interesting things. And then you will, step number 7, redirect the customer back to the app. From a requirements perspective, as I said, you're gonna need the landing page, integrate the provisioning service and the billing service with. This will be your provisioning and your billing service. You take that. It's not the billing service. It's basically the service on your side that is gonna be talking to the billing API. Okay, those need to be registered with Azure AD, and that's basically, you can do that registration. It's very simple. It's inside the Azure portal. So you will go into your Azure AD tenant. You will select register apps. In there, you will submit the endpoints for your service, and basically that's when we'll see the exchange. I'll have a slide with the AD exchange. You'll see that how that works. And the last part is basically having a service, as I said, to integrate with the billing service. So you will see a slides that basically you will see a screen that basically asks you for the landing page, the connect, what is the endpoint for the webhook, your Azure AD tenant ID, and then the app ID. Basically all the information that we need for recognizing that it's your solution who's talking to the billing API in our side. This slide talks a little bit more detail, but basically it's the same thing. Great example for you guys to follow is the Microsoft Healthcare bot. So they have a free plan. So I highly recommend you you purchase the free plan just to understand how the experience that I'm explaining works. They also have a provisioning service, so you'll see that provisioning service experience there. It's actually they did a really good job, and it's basically have a free service that you can use. Now this slide goes in a little bit more detail. So now we're digging down into the technicalities about how the billing service works. So we saw this workflow before. We added a couple more information boxes. So as I said, as the customer selects your offer on Marketplace and selects the plan, they will be redirected to the Azure portal. In the Azure portal, they will select the subscriptions that they want to be charged on. Then the offer will be created, and then they will click on Configure Account. When they click on Configure Account, the Azure portal queries the Marketplace billing service and returns back a billing token. Okay, so this token is what we're gonna use for notify you that there is somebody who's purchasing your solution. Okay, so on the redirect, after the billing token is generated, the customer gets redirected to the landing page that you selected. Plus, on the request, you'll see a billing token. Okay, so you want to make sure you save that because we're gonna need that for the rest of the communications. Then you basically do your provisioning, and then you redirect into the app. So between on step 8, we'll go on the next slide. We'll go into more detail on what happens there. Okay, so this is what happens on that step 8. So as the user, gets redirected to your provisioning service, you will have a billing token, which is this billing token here, right? Now your provisioning service, basically before you display the page, there's all these things that are going to happen behind the scenes, right? So one, you will get a request on that page with a billing token. So the steps that you need to follow, and then we have all this stuff documented. So don't stress out. I'm just going to walk you through it, but we have all the documentation, and then we have a team that can help you with this if you have any issues. So once your provisioning service receives that request, what you want to do is to retrieve the customer Azure AD information. Okay, so that's the first thing. So basically now what you have is the billing token plus all the contact information from that customer. After that's done, you will query again the Azure AD service, and then you will request that Azure AD to provide you with your GWTT token. And basically what this is the token that authenticates you as the proper entity that has the right for performing that action of registering this customer, right? So you will get a GWTT token back, and then what you want to do is basically call this post SaaS subscription/resolve. You will pass that billing token plus your JWTT token that authenticates you. All right. So you pass that to the billing service. The billing service will say, "Oh, perfect. I know who you are. I know what the request came from because you passed me that billing token, and I know who you are." So then you will get back a response that will give you the unique SaaS offer subscription ID. Okay. And basically, this is a unique identifier that identifies that user that purchased your subscription on a specific plan. Okay, so that's basically the unique identifier you need to store, and then you will be passing that unique identifier for all subsequent calls to the API, like CRUD operations, like update plan, downgrade plan, delete plan, unsubscribe, blah blah blah. Those are kind of the communications, and also you will use it if you're using metering. That's the ID that will be used for you to update us, saying, hey, this customer has been using 20 megs or whatever is the composite for your bill, and then we'll perform those updates. Okay. If you're using seat based, same thing. You will get quantity, which is basically the number of seats. Why not? So get response back with a unique SaaS ID identifier. Now you display the page. So you have the partner information, the customer information that you retrieve from step number 2, plus you get all the plan information that is coming back from the selection from the customer. So basically, you display that on the page. If you need any more fields or any more information, you will put the text boxes, the fields that you need on that page to properly provision your customer. Basically, that's step number 6, basically the experience. You start provisioning your customer. When you're done provisioning your customer, you send us back the /activate command, and basically as soon as we receive like /activate, it's basically telling us, hey, we're ready for you to start billing the customer, and then the billing will start. Okay. So resolve step is basically providing you the information back of the customer. We understand that you are who you are, and then you're ready to provision the customer. Step number 8, when you send us the activate, that's when the billing starts. Okay. So between step number 4 and step number 8, you have 7 days. So this is a common question. It's like, how long does it take? We have some partners that provisioning is not instantaneous. They may take like 2 or 3 hours. Some of them take a couple of days to properly provision the service. So you have time between our resolve and activate. The time is about 7 days. We're not going to bill the customer until you send us the activate. Okay. Very, very straightforward. Now let's look at the billing operation. So we have the resolve and activate. So we talk about those two extensively, and then you have all the CRUD operations on the subscriptions and the plans. So convert, change plans, that you can delete the subscription, you can get operation status, you can get subscription and get subscriptions. What this will do is provide you extra information. So let's say that you want to see all the plans that you have for that service. You will send us a get subscription, and this will return the list of all the available plans and all the available subscriptions for that. The API is fully documented on Marketplace. We have some Azure AD integration code samples. So let's say that the provisioning service, and then the service is going to talk to the billing API. It's built on Python or Java. We have code samples available. The mock API allows for you to try that API directly. So this is basically the URL if you want to play with the API and then see the responses from it. And then this is the production endpoint. So make sure that when you move from your dev test to production, you change the production API endpoint to this one. This is the one that you want to use for that. I'm just saying that because we actually had customers forget to change the API from their test environment, dev environment, to the production, and this caused some some challenges there. So make sure that you know that there's a specific endpoint for the production API. A couple of states. So we have it's a full cycle. So some of you, the billing cycle may be a little bit different than others. Some people need a suspend state and an unsubscribe state. So we have all the, I'm not going to go into detail into this. We have all that documented. You have a state diagram here. You have the ability to provide a grace period. That's up to you how you provide it. You also are allowed to, or you're enabled to use data retention statuses. Totally up to you. You will define these on your terms of service. So Microsoft, we don't prescribe numbers for you or dates or anything like that. It's up to you, and then whatever works for your business, that's what you should put on your terms, and basically that's what you will apply then on the different workflow as you look at the life cycle for a subscription. The last slide I have, it's a little bit of code in there, but it has to do with the Webhook payload. So this is, as I said, there is a webhook that you will have to implement. All the operations on the API are asynchronous, so you can pull or you can wait. It's up to you, and how you want to implement your service. As I said, we do not prescribe implementation. You can basically have call the webhook, have the service call the webhook, or you can basically call. this is kind of the payload that you're gonna receive, and basically this can tell you is like, hey, the customer has upgraded a service, or you perform suspend, and then this is we acknowledge that suspend as because it can take time on different operations. They're not, as I said, it's an asynchronous service, so those will come. You can have a delay between those acknowledgements. So this is the reason why we need a webhook.